The time is 7 o'clock. Good evening. This is News at Sunset on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Agbarigo Onirike Ibadan. I am Babafemi Obideyi. First, the top stories. Federal government okays full reopening of schools. 11 Nigerians die in South Africa. Makinde inaugurates Oyo State Independent Electoral Committee Board ahead local government election. In sport, NFF President Pinnick says Super Eagles to play friendly games in October. Now the news in full. The federal government has called on state governments and school administrators to commence preparations towards full reopening of schools in the country. Recall that as part of measures to water down the spread of COVID-19 in the country, schools across the country had been under lock and key since March as ordered by the federal government. The federal government earlier announced the resumption of graduating pupils effective from the 4th of August 2020 to write this year's West African Senior School Certificate examination from August 17, 2020 through to September 12, 2020. However, the national coordinator of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Dr. Sania Liu, during a briefing at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, said for educational institutions like daycare, primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions, educational institutions should begin the process of working towards potentially reopening schools. Following the massive flood which swept away hectares of rice farm in Kebbi, the president, Muhammadu Buhari, has blamed the activities of corrupt middlemen, saying they are threats to Nigeria's food security. Buhari lamented the twist in the rise of food prices at a time Nigerians have suffered grave economic losses due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It will be recalled that the massive rice farmland in Kebbi State, a major rice producer with the support of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), has been ravaged by floods, sweeping away 450,000 hectares of rice plantation in the lowland and over 50,000 hectares of millet, sorghum, maize, and sugarcane in the highlands. Former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress (APC), Comrade Timmy Frank, has asked the National Assembly to cut short its annual vacation and take a definite stand in support of Nigerians in relation to the recent hike in electricity tariff and price of petrol. He also called on organized labor, the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC), and the Trade Union Congress (TUC), as well as civil society organizations, to mobilize Nigerians to resist the increase, which he feared will further bring untold hardship to Nigerians. Frank charged the senators to emulate the Seventh Assembly lawmakers that stood solidly behind Nigerians in 2012 when fuel price was increased from 65 naira to 140 naira by the administration of ex-president Goodluck Jonathan. The Nigerian Union in South Africa, NUSA, has announced the death of 11 Nigerians due to COVID-19 pandemic. The union president, Adetola Olubajo, who said he had attended the funeral of some of them, opined that the COVID-19 deaths were from Gauteng province alone, stating that it was yet to get figures from 8 other provinces in South Africa. Olubajo reiterated the seriousness of the virus, saying it has left several countries devastated, admonished Nigerians in South Africa to adopt all precautionary and safety measures put in place by the South African government for their safety. The Department of State Security, DSS, has invited and quizzed the chairman, Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), COVID-19 Palliative Distribution Committee Chief Sobomabo Jackridge. It was revealed that Jackridge's invitation for questioning followed a petition he sent to the National Assembly accusing the NDDC Interim Management Committee (IMC) of diverting 6.25 billion naira palliatives for the Niger Delta region, approved by the President Muhammadu Buhari. Chairman NDDC COVID-19 Palliative Distribution Committee, who confirmed the development, said the IMC petitioned the DSS accusing him of using the NDDC letterhead in the petition he sent to the National Assembly. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has inaugurated the board of Oyo State Independent Electoral Committee (OISEC) ahead of Oyo State local government elections. Makinde urged the chairman OISEC board, Barrister Isiaka Olagunju, and other members to conduct credible elections within a short period of time. Other members are Comrade Adini Babatunde, Kumi Agbola, Adiremi Ayoade, Sunday Falano, and Adeojo Elias. Meanwhile, Oyo State COVID-19 Task Force, headed by Governor Seyi Makinde, has announced the cancellation of the 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. curfew imposed on the people of the state in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. To address the issue of outrageous billing that has continued to plague the electricity distribution subsector and the numerous complaints by consumers, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) had repealed estimated billing methodology regulation as the basis for computing the consumption of unmetered consumers. However, consumers are in doubt as to whether the latest proposed tariff increase had not yet taken place, alleging that the power supplied is not commensurate with the bills received every month. Speaking with Pensioners FM's correspondent Oluwakemi Oyedele, some residents in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, lamented outrageous bills, irregular power supply, and perilous power infrastructure, among others. They equally complained that the recent exorbitant bills are not commensurate with the frequency of power supplied.
This is the property that belongs to the federation. Then you sell it out. Then we are now buying from personal. So now the government power to collect it back if they are not doing well. Now, as an employee, if I employ you for a work, if I find that you are not doing well, I have the right to sack you.
Government says this, other people do another thing, and nothing will happen about it. They have been saying about this light, don't increase, don't do this, give everybody the meter, but they pay people on the light. They won't do it.
You are begging the federal government, should beg the people that is on the light, should talk to them so that they will not increase the money. Because as you can see now, since we started the coronavirus, and they say that some people should not pay for 2 months, and still we still pay on it, and they don't have right to increase the NEPA bill.
In a similar development, Nigerians have lamented the increased price of petrol to 151 naira 56 kobo per litre by the Petroleum Products Marketing Company, saying it may further heighten hardship faced by the common man. A visit to some filling stations by Pensioners FM's correspondent Ishola reflected the adjusted price as customers pay between 162 naira and 165 naira per litre. It was discovered that few petrol stations selling the product witnessed long queues of vehicles while others were shut down. Residents of Ibadan lament that the increased price of petrol will also lead to increase in the cost of most food items. Two motorists, Tunji Olatunde and Abbas Suleiman, called on the government to address the issue facing the refineries to reduce the persistent increase in the price of petrol.
I just noticed this morning that I went to several exactly where the problem is.
It's an unfortunate situation. I don't expect the government to increase the pump price of petrol as now that the world is facing problem of COVID-19. In 3 months now, they have increased pump price. For this morning, I was not even aware. I didn't listen to news yesterday. On getting here, I saw queues here, and I listened on the news now that it has been increased.
PPMC recently effected the adjusted price from 138 naira 62 kobo per litre on its payment platform. This is News at Sunset on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Let's now talk some labor and pension stories. Oyo state government has disclosed the state from 2013 to June 2020, stating that the state has paid 1.4 billion naira from January 2020 to August 2020. The State Commissioner for Establishment and Training, Professor Daoud Shangodoyi, said the governor, Seyi Makinde, has made it a matter of state policy to pay up the accrued gratuity, while salaries, pensions, and other emoluments would continue to be in the stage of the present administration's 70% monthly gratuity allocation from June 2013, according to their date of filing their retirement documents. Ibarapa Central Local Government Chapter of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners (NUP) has conducted election and swearing in of its officers. Pensioners FM's correspondent Michael Adeyemo, who witnessed the event, reported that the election held at Primary School Teachers Plaza, Idere Road, Igbora. Acting Chairman of NUP, Comrade Isiaka Bolade, lauded the conduct and efforts of the election officers.
Today's election is very, very excellent. They are well organized and they have concluded their plans even before we came, and therefore it was a successful election.
The newly elected chairman, Comrade Sumonu Adiola, appreciated the entire members of the union for their support and promised to prioritize getting the identity card for all members.
First and foremost, we have any.
Other elected officials were Olagbinro Omitola as vice chairman, Ogundoyin Adeseun secretary, Ojebode Bolaji as trustee, and Ajibade Adeseun as treasurer. It is still News at Sunset on Pensioners 106.7 FM. We will be back with entertainment and sport news. Please stay tuned. Now to entertainment. The Nigerian Oscars Academy Awards. According to a report, Chineze Ayene, the committee's chairperson, in a statement, said the Academy Awards recently opened entries to honor the best new films released globally, with the event set to hold on April 25, 2021. Ayene noted that the committee had witnessed a rapid rise in the quality of Nigerian films, especially in storytelling, with many filmmakers and industry practitioners aspiring for better creative and business opportunities. The Nigerian Oscar Selection Committee (NOSC) was registered under the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as the Oscar Selection Association of Nigeria. And now to sport. The president of the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF), Amaju Pinnick, has announced that the Super Eagles will resume sport activities next month. After resumption, the Super Eagles, according to report, will take on their African rivals, Ivory Coast and Tunisia, as part of the team's preparations for the resumption of the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON qualifiers. Pinnick explained that the two friendlies will take place in Austria, with the first game against the Elephants on October 9 and Tunisia's Carthage Eagles 4 days after in the European country. To end News at Sunset, here is a recap of the main stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has blamed the activities of corrupt middlemen, saying they are threats to Nigeria's food security. The Nigerian Union in South Africa, NUSA, has announced the death of 11 Nigerians due to COVID-19 pandemic. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has inaugurated the board of Oyo State Independent Electoral Committee (OISEC) ahead of Oyo State local government elections. In sports, we brought to you that the president of the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF), Amaju Pinnick, has announced that the Super Eagles will play friendly games in October. For any information, contact us on these mobile numbers: 0812-008-6270 or 0812-188-9462. You can also visit us at Pensioners House at Barigo, Onirike, Ibadan. The news editor is Florence Akintola. Oluwafunmilayo Alunge led the production crew. I am Babafemi Obideyi. Good evening and thanks for listening.
àkàlà àgbà kẹ́yìn gbọ́ròyìn àgbọ̀fẹ́ kọ́gbọ́n níròyìn wá. National FM gbèròyìn dé o. Ìròyìn tí ọ̀lẹ́jà ń bá kan nínú. Ẹ̀tẹ́ tí bẹ̀lẹ̀ jẹ́ kẹ́yìn gbọ́ròyìn 106.7 nìkan ní wá.
Káalẹ́ o, ìròyìn àṣálẹ́ Abdulmumeen Ishola ló níròyìn ṣáájú ẹgbẹ́ àdìgbámú tó wà nínú ìròyìn náà. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti fòǹtẹ̀ lù láti ṣí àwọn iléèwé tó wà káàkiri ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà padà. Àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí 11 ni wọ́n ti dẹnilẹ̀ nílẹ̀ South Africa. Gómìnà Mákindé ti ṣèfilọ́lẹ̀ ìgbìmọ̀ olùdarí tí ó máa rí sí ètò àti jẹ́ kí ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ máa pèsè iná ọba fúnra rẹ̀. Ààrẹ àjọ tó ń ṣeré bọ́ọ̀lù aláfẹsẹ̀gbá nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà PINI ti kéde pé ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Super Eagles yóò fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ ọlọ́rẹ̀ẹ́sọ̀rẹ́ lóṣù tó ń bọ̀. Ẹ gbọ́ ìròyìn ọ̀hún lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti ké sáwọn ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ àtàwọn ọmọ ìgbìmọ̀ aláṣẹ iléèwé tó wà káàkiri ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gbáradì o fún ṣíṣí iléèwé padà fáwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Tẹ́ ẹ bá gbàgbé, nítorí ìtànkálẹ̀ kòkòrò àrùn kòrónà níjọba àpapọ̀ fi pàṣẹ láti ti iléèwé pa. Ìròyìn ní láìpẹ́ níjọba àpapọ̀ kéde pé káwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó wà nípele àṣekágbá wọlé padà lọ́jọ́ 4 oṣù tó kọjá láti gbáradì fún ìdánwò WAEC. Ní báyìí, ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti ní káwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn olùkọ́ àtijọba ìpínlẹ̀ máa gbáradì láti ṣí àwọn iléèwé padà. Ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari ti nàka àléébù ìwà àbàjẹ́ sáwọn alágbàtà tó ń sọjà di ọ̀wọ́n lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà. Ààrẹ Buhari ló tutọ́ sókè fojú gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ nínú òpó ayélujára Twitter pé àwọn alágbàtà ọjà ló jẹ́ adínàgbòòkú fún oúnjẹ láti pọ̀ yanturu nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Tẹ́ ẹ bá gbàgbé, ẹ̀kún omi tó wáyé nípínlẹ̀ Kebbi tó ba àwọn sáré oko oúnjẹ tó tó 50 jẹ́. Ìdí nìyí tààrẹ Buhari fi ìka ìwà àbàjẹ́ rí àwọn alágbàtà oúnjẹ nímú tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ló ń sọ ọjà di ọ̀wọ́n lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà. Igbákejì akọ̀wé ìkéde tẹ́lẹ̀ fẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí Timi Frank ti gba ilé aṣòfin àgbà níyànjú láti mú àdínkù bá ọjọ́ ìsinmi lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ọlọ́dọọdún wọn, àti pé kí wọ́n gbé ìgbésẹ̀ akin o láti wà lẹ́yìn àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà tó ń kérora lórí àfikún owó nọba àti jálá epo pẹtrólù. Bákan náà ló tó ké sí ẹgbẹ́ òṣìọba NSA àti TUC pẹ̀lú ẹgbẹ́ ajàfẹ́tọ̀ọ́ ọmọnìyàn láti kó àwọn èèyàn orílẹ̀-èdè jọ o fi kọ àfikún owó iná ọba àti jálá epo pẹtrólù. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Frank pé àwọn aṣòfin àgbà níjà pé kí wọ́n wo àwòkọ́ṣe o látara ilé aṣòfin keje tó dúró lẹ́yìn ọmọ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà lọ́dún 2012 lásìkò tààrẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí Goodluck Jonathan gbé owó jálá pẹtrólù láti náírà 75 lọ sí 140 náírà.
nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ gan ni àwọn tó gbé síbẹ̀ tó ga wọn àwọn náà ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn because federal government pàṣẹ pé kán má gbowó lé outcome tẹ́ pọ́n kàn gbowó lé èyí náà kò lọ déédéé so akọ̀ èdè gbé wọn ní wá láti wá check mítà akọ̀ gbé bíìlì tó wọ́n wá ní oṣù tó lọ báyìí sì àná rárá gan.
ẹgbẹ́ àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ nàìjíríà tó ń gbé nílẹ̀ South Africa ti kéde pé kòkòrò àrùn COVID-19 ló ti ṣekú pa àwọn èèyàn orílẹ̀-èdè yìí 11. ààrẹ ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ ilẹ̀ nàìjíríà tó wà nílẹ̀ South Africa Adétọ́lá Olúbánjọ ló fi ìròyìn síta pé òun wà níbi ètò ìsìnkú àwọn èèyàn náà tóun ò sì tí ì mọ iye àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí tí kòkòrò àrùn kòrónà ti pa o ní ẹkùn míì nílẹ̀ South Africa. ó wáá gba àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ nàìjíríà tó wà nílẹ̀ South Africa níyànjú láti tẹ̀lé ìlànà àti sá fún ìtànkálẹ̀ kòkòrò àrùn COVID-19. iléeṣẹ́ ọ̀tẹlẹ̀múyẹ́ ti ránṣẹ́ pé alága àjọ tó ń sí ìdàgbàsókè ẹkùn Niger Delta tó ń pín ohun èlò ìdẹ̀ra láti fi paná ìṣòro ìtànkálẹ̀ kòkòrò àrùn kòrónà olóyè Sobamabo Jackridge láti wá sọ tẹnu rẹ̀ o lórí owó àjọ náà tí wọ́n ná lọ́nà àìtọ́. tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá gbàgbé ilé asòfin àgbà ló fẹ̀sùn kan àwọn ọmọ ìgbìmọ̀ afúnṣọ́ àjọ tó ń sì ìdàgbàsókè ẹkùn Niger Delta pé ó ṣe bílíọ̀nù 6 ó lé mílíọ̀nù 25 náírà kùmọ̀kùmọ̀. gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ Ṣèyí Mákindé ti ṣèfilọ́lẹ̀ ìgbìmọ̀ olùdarí àjọ elétò ìdìbò nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ OSEC láti ṣètò ìdìbò ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ nípínlẹ̀ yìí. lára àwọn ọmọ àjọ OSEC tíjọba ìpínlẹ̀ ṣèfilọ́lẹ̀ Adéníyì Babátúndé, Ganiya Saka, Emmanuel Ọlánrewájú, Kúnmi Agboola, Adérẹ̀mí Ayọ̀adé, Sunday Fálànà àti Adéọjọ́ Elias. gómìnà Mákindé wá rọ àwọn ọmọ ìgbìmọ̀ àjọ OSEC láti ṣètò ìdìbò ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ tó múnádóko ní kòpẹ́kòpẹ́ yìí. àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ nàìjíríà ló ti gbárata o lórí bí iléeṣẹ́ alágbàtà epo pẹtiróòlù ṣe fowó kún jálá epo pẹtiróòlù sí 151 náírà àti 16 kọ́bọ̀ tá a mọ̀ sí 151 naira 56 kọ́bọ̀. akọ̀ròyìn wa Ìbíwùmí Ìṣọ̀lá tó ṣàbẹ̀wò sáwọn ibùdó tó ti ń tapo pẹtiróòlù jábọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn ló ń ra jálá epo pẹtiróòlù láàrin 162 náírà 162 náírà sí 155 náírà 165 náírà. ó fi kún pé àwọn èèyàn ló pọ̀ lórí ìlà tó fẹ́ ra epo pẹtiróòlù ní àwọn ibùdó tó ti ń tà á. bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni pé àwọn ibùdó ilé epo pẹtiróòlù kan wà tí wọ́n ti pa. àwọn olùgbé Ìbàdàn náà lọ́gun síta pé bí jálá epo pẹtiróòlù ti gbẹnu sókè báyìí yóò kàn jẹ́ kí oúnjẹ wọn gógó sí ni káàkiri ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ti sọ yanya pé òun ti ṣetán o láti sanwó ìfẹ̀yìntì àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tán fẹ̀yìntì nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ọdún yìí. ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ yìí fi kún pé òun ti sanwó ìfẹ̀yìntì àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ o tó bílíọ̀nù 1 ó lé mílíọ̀nù 4 náírà láàrin oṣù kìíní sí oṣù kẹjọ ọdún tá a wà yìí. alákòóso iléeṣẹ́ tó sọ̀rọ̀ ìdáléeṣẹ́ sílẹ̀ nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Daoud Sangodoyin ló fi ìròyìn náà síta pé gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ Ṣèyí Mákindé kò ní tẹ́tí o láti máa sanwó oṣù òṣìṣẹ́fẹ̀yìntì lásìkò. ẹgbẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́fẹ̀yìntì ẹ̀ka tìjọba ìbílẹ̀ àárín gbùngbùn Ìbàràpá ti dìbò yan olóyè ẹgbẹ́ wọn o. akọ̀ròyìn wa Michael Adéyẹmọ tó wà níbẹ̀ jábọ̀ pé ètò ìdìbò ọ̀hún ló wáyé níléèwé alákọ̀ọ́bẹ̀rẹ̀ àwọn olùkọ́ tó wà lójú ọ̀nà Ìdìrì ní Gbọ́ra. adelé alága ẹgbẹ́ NUT nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ Isiaka Abọ́ládé pàtẹ́wọ́ fáwọn òṣìṣẹ́fẹ̀yìntì náà nítorí bí wọ́n ṣe ṣètò ìdìbò ọ̀hún nírọ̀wọ́rọsẹ̀ láìsí wàhálà kankan níbẹ̀. alága ẹgbẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì ẹ̀ka tìjọba ìbílẹ̀ àárín gbùngbùn Ìbàràpá tí wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ dìbò yàn Sùmánù Adéọlá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ fún àtìlẹ́yìn wọn fóun o. Àwọn olóyè ẹgbẹ́ yòókù tí wọ́n dìbò yàn láti rí Ọlágbénró Omítọ́lá, igbákejì alága, Ògúndòyìn Adéṣeun akọ̀wé, Ọ̀jẹ́bọ̀dé Bọ́lájí akójànú, Ajíbádé Adéṣeun akápò. Ẹ gbọ́ ìròyìn ọ̀hún síwájú sí i.
ìdìbò ní ó mọyán lórí ó sì lọ gàgà ó dẹ̀ lọ ní ìrọ̀lẹ́ kò dá wa láàmú kò dá àwọn tó dìbò náà kò dá wọn láàmú kò sí gbọ́n mi sí omi ò tó agbọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run ìbò náà ó wáyé.
a ti ń gbogbo káàdì ìdánimọ̀ fún ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan a ti ń sọ ti pẹ́ tà tí ì rí ṣùgbọ́n lákòókò tèmi yìí mo fẹ́ ká ní káàdì ìdánimọ̀ kó tẹ̀ jẹ́ ti ìbílẹ̀ wa ń bí.
Ìbàdàn láti ń ròyìn láti iléeṣẹ́ Personal FM 176.7 tó kalẹ̀ sí Àgbárígò Onírèké Ìbàdàn. Tá a bá padà dé, ìròyìn eré ìdárayá lọ́pọ̀ sùn kàn. Ààrẹ àjọ tó ń ṣeré bọ́ọ̀lù aláfẹsẹ̀gbá nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà Amaju Pinnick ti kéde pé ẹgbẹ́ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Super Eagles yóò fẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ ọlọ́rẹ̀ẹ́sọ̀rẹ́ lóṣù tó ń bọ̀ yìí. Ó ní ikọ̀ Super Eagles òun náà ló jọ pé ikọ̀ ìdíje ọlọ́rẹ̀ẹ́sọ̀rẹ́ tí yóò wákò pẹ̀lú àwọn agbábọ́ọ̀lù alátakò rẹ̀ òun náà ni ó wáyé ní ọjọ́ 9 oṣù tó ń bọ̀ yìí. Èyí lópin ìròyìn wa fún àṣálẹ́ òní. Lórúkọ olóòtú ìròyìn Florence Akíntọ́lá pẹ̀lú ìrànlọ́wọ́ Olúwafúnmiláyọ̀ Alóńgẹ́, orúkọ mi ní Abdulmumeen Ishola. Títí ọlọ́ọ̀dẹ lágbára Elédùmarè táàtù máa mú àkọ́tún ìròyìn míì wá sétìgbọ̀yìn ẹ̀ ní tójú oorun bójú kú.
òun ló yẹ ká gbọ́ o òun ló yẹ ká gbọ́.